Ben McKee, Patrick Brown, Go Vols 24/7 here on campus on Thursday of Texas A&M week as Tennessee begins to wrap up its preparation for Saturday's big game. Just spoke to Josh Heupel, and we'll start on the injury front. He expects for Danico Slaughter, who is dealing with a toe injury, and Dante Thornton, who is dealing with a hamstring, to be ready to roll on Saturday.
Yeah, Ben, those are probably the two biggest question marks. There's a couple guys on the offensive line, too. We'll see if they're available. Andre Clark and Jeremiah Crawford did not play in the South Carolina game. That was 2 weeks ago. Really, all these guys will have to see if they're going to be available. There's still some, gamesmanship, and I got to see if those guys are ready to go in warm-ups because, for a guy like Slaughter, he's done some things in warm-ups before games he's not played in. So, but Heupel seemed pleased with some of the work that those guys have gotten this week in practice, and we'll just have to see if they're going to be available.
Yeah, and nothing really out of the ordinary, if we're being completely honest, from Heupel today. It was pretty much the same message from Monday when he spoke and yesterday on Wednesday when he spoke on the teleconference and throughout ball calls.
Yeah, he keeps emphasizing to everyone that, yes, Texas A&M has a lot of sacks, but their run defense is also really good, and that's important in this game because Tennessee's rushing game has been really good, and Tennessee leads the SEC in rushing, but I think this is by far the best defensive front they're going to play. And Texas A&M really hasn't let anybody run on them very much. So I don't know. I think Alabama had 23 yards or something like that. So it's going to be important for Tennessee to run. I don't know if they need to run for 250 yards in this game. They just need to be efficient. They can't be in 2nd and 9 and 3rd and 8 all game. Something that Heupel said last night on ball calls is the tape of those long yardage situations for Texas A&M's defense is way too long because they've had teams living in those situations all season, and that's tough for a lot of offenses, and it's tough for an offense like Tennessee's. It's been a little bit up and down in the passing game, so they need the offensive line to respond to the physical challenge, and they need those running backs to continue to be as good as they've been all season.
Yeah, and Josh Heupel did talk about liking how crisp the team has been this week, and continues to talk about how the bye week was much needed, and we talked about that at length at this point, but the bye week came at a perfect time for Tennessee, and it seems like Tennessee's going to be able to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, Ben, you look at the statistical breakdown between these two teams. There's a lot of similarities, and that's why the point spread on this game is 3 points, 3.5 points, depending on where you look. So everybody's expecting a close game, but I think the two big advantages that Tennessee has is that they've been really good at home. They've won 12 games in a row at Neyland Stadium. Texas A&M has not been a great road team. I don't think they've won a true road game since 2021. I think 7 games is the losing streak, and Texas A&M, this is I believe their 4th SEC game in a row, their 7th game in as many weeks to start the season. So you're playing a team that's kind of getting close to its open date against a team coming off its open date. You would expect Tennessee to be refreshed. You expect them to maybe have a couple extra wrinkles in the game plan, and certainly there are a lot of parts of this team that should be playing with some confidence given how they played against South Carolina. So I think those are two big advantages for Tennessee in this game between two teams that have some similar strengths and similar weaknesses, and some of those strengths and weaknesses are going to be going up against each other. Easy for me to say in this game, and but I think those two advantages could bode well for Tennessee in this game.
Yeah, and lastly, Checker Neyland's going to look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere is going to be through the roof. But I think the coolest part of Saturday, aside from the game, is going to be Tennessee honoring Eric Berry, one of the best players to ever suit up for the Vols.
Yeah, he on a personal level for me, I was in college during his 3 years here, so that'll be cool for me to see him come back. Talk to Josh Heupel about him, and he's like, yeah, this guy was a really good player, and certainly some of the highlights that I'm sure they're going to play during the game on Saturday are going to be fun to remember from him in his 3 years here. So that'll be cool, and for Tennessee, it's a special time to have someone else going into the Hall of Fame like him.
Absolutely. I know as a kid growing up, I certainly had a number 14 jersey and a number 5 jersey from over in Thompson-Boling Arena.
We need to get Swiper Boy back to reprise the video.
Yeah, we've heard some Swiper Boy inside of Neyland here and there. I wouldn't be surprised to see that video maybe break back out this week, and they certainly need to. And we will certainly have plenty of content all week long as Tennessee takes on Texas A&M on Saturday at 3:30. For Patrick Brown, I'm Ben McKee of Go Vols 24/7.